During World War II, over 70,000 men were designated conscientious objectors, mostly men whose religious beliefs made them opposed to war. Some refused to serve, but 25,000 joined the U.S. Armed Forces in non-combat roles such as medics and chaplains. Desmond T. of Lynchburg, Virginia, was one of those men, though he personally shunned the title of conscientious objector. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we will talk about Private First Class Desmond Thomas Doss. Despite facing skepticism and discrimination for his stance, he remained steadfast in his decision and joined the U.S. Army as a medic. One of my followers on TikTok want this story, that's why I'm making this video for her. Also, thank you guys for all your support. I will do my best to give this kind of content to all of you. So without further ado, let's get started. Desmond Thomas Doss, born in 1919, was raised with a strong belief in the Bible and the Ten Commandments, attending a Seventh-day Adventist church. He held particularly strong views against killing and working on the Sabbath, which as a Seventh-day Adventist, he observed every Saturday. When the United States entered the war, Doss was working at the Newport News Naval Shipyard. It would have been easy in 1942 for Doss to apply for a deferment, and many would have expected as much from someone who refused to bear arms against another. Doss, however, felt a calling to serve his country and to help his fellow man. When he was drafted in the spring of 1942, Doss did not refuse enlistment on the grounds of being a conscientious objector. In fact, he believed the war was just and desired to do his part, but for him that meant saving lives, not taking them, and thus Doss was known to describe himself as a conscientious cooperator. In spite of his conscientious objector status, Doss was required to undergo the usual basic training. He was allowed to forego weapons training, and even received a pass to attend church on his Saturday Sabbath. Although Doss was a willing participant and felt himself to have as great a sense of duty as any man in his unit, boot camp was not an easy time for him. He was verbally harassed, with warnings such as, "Doss, when we get into combat, I'll make sure you don't come back alive." Boots and other items were sent flying his way as he prayed at night. Ostracized by his unit, and bullied by both enlisted men and his commanding officers, Doss held on to his faith and was an exemplary soldier. Several attempts were made to remove the man they felt was a coward and a detriment to the unit. His commanding officers attempted to have him discharged for mental illness, but he refused to accept, stating he could not agree to a discharge due to his religion. Doss' commanding officers eventually gave up, realizing that such a discharge would never be approved at higher levels. In 1944, Doss shipped out, bound for the Pacific as a member of the medical detachment of the 307th Infantry Regiment, 77th Infantry Division. Although Doss would become known for his actions on Okinawa, the bloody battle there was not his first. The 77th landed in Guam in July 1944. The men who had threatened to kill Doss in boot camp quickly realized the value of their Bible-carrying medic. For his bravery in treating wounded men under fire during the fighting in Guam, Doss was awarded a Bronze Star for valor. After Guam, the 307th fought at Leyte, Philippines. Again, Doss showed his dedication to his comrades and bravery in combat and was awarded a second Bronze Star. The 307th Infantry Regiment moved into the line on Okinawa on April 29, on the top of the Maeda Escarpment known as Hacksaw Ridge. The Japanese had spent years entrenching their soldiers, creating a maze of tunnels in the hill. After a company's near annihilation in taking the escarpment, the remainder of A Company, plus B Company, of which Doss was a part, climbed cargo nets to the top on May 2, 1945. The escarpment where the men were fighting was a cliff roughly 400 feet high. The top 35 feet created an overhang, where the cargo nets had been necessary for the men to reach the top. For days, men of the 307th held out, fighting against heavily entrenched Japanese forces. By May 5th, the fighting intensified to the point that all men were ordered to retreat. Doss refused. An estimated 75 men remained behind, too wounded to retreat under their own power. He would not leave them behind. Doss successfully rescued 75 men trapped at the top of the escarpment by lowering them with a special knot he knew. On October 12, 1945, President Harry S. Truman presented Doss with the Medal of Honor in a ceremony on the White House lawn. Truman shook Doss's hand and told him, "I'm proud of you. You really deserve this." After the war, Desmond returned home to Virginia, where he continued to live a life of service, working as a carpenter and devoting himself to his family and community. Despite the physical and emotional toll of his wartime experiences, Desmond lived on for several decades, passing away in 2006 at the age of 87. I hope you like this video, and also don't forget to subscribe. May God bless to all of you, have a great day, and see you in the next video.